Assalamu alaikum viewers. My name is Akif Azaniwala and as a part of Rehan AI teacher training course, I'm back with another discussion session with ChatGPT. Today the topic of our discussion is the art of storytelling and how to captivate and inspire others. So let's dive in. Hello ChatGPT.
Hello, great to be here. Walaikum assalam. Happy to jump in. What's the first angle on storytelling you want to dig into?
The first angle is that what makes a story memorable and emotionally powerful rather than simply informative.
Generally, it's the human stuff. Clear stakes, a relatable struggle, vivid imagery, and a sense of change, showing how the experience shapes someone. When people can see themselves in it, that's when it sticks.
Why is it that people often connect with stories more deeply than with simple facts and figures?
You. Stories engage emotion and imagination. Facts tell us what happened. Stories show us why it matters. And that emotional connection helps people remember and care more.
Why is it suggested for a effective presentation to start with a story to get audience attention in the initial seconds of the presentation?
Because a story hooks attention fast. It creates curiosity and emotional buy in, making people want to know what happens next. So they're more open to the message that follows.
You mentioned about hook. So, is it an emotional play in making a story relatable and inspiring?
Yes, absolutely. Emotion is the bridge. It turns information into experience so people feel the stakes and the meaning.
What about personal experiences? Can they be transformed into stories that they can learn from?
Definitely. Personal experiences make stories authentic. The trick is shaping them with a purpose, a point, not oversharing for its own sake. Highlight the turning point, the lesson, and the takeaway for the audience.
When we read a story, what, in your perspective, makes the character more authentic and relatable for the audience?
Flaws, contradictions, small vulnerabilities, and choices that feel human, not perfect. Let them want something clearly and struggle for it. That's what draws us in.
What about the elements like conflict, challenges, and unexpected moments in creating an engaging story?
They provide the friction that makes growth visible. Without conflict, there's little transformation. Those moments show resilience and keep audiences invested.
How can a storyteller build suspense and keep the audience curious about what happens next?
Use pacing and questions. Tease what's at stake. Hint at obstacles. Then let tension build before revealing answers. And leave small open loops that the mind wants to close.
Are there any famous storytellers tips on above regards like building suspense or creating conflict and challenges? Is there any roadmap or any sort of tips that aspiring storytellers can use?
Checking now. Yes, a simple roadmap. Start with a hook, build a relatable character, add meaningful conflict, raise the tension with twists, then resolve with a clear, meaningful lesson. Study frameworks like Pixar's story formula, the hero's journey, or Nancy Duarte's tension pattern. And always ask three questions. Who is my audience? What emotion do I want them to feel? And what's the one message they should remember?
Can you explain any one of the above techniques, like, for example, Nancy's formula that you mentioned?
Checking. Certainly. Nancy Duarte's method uses what is versus what could be to create tension. Describe a current reality like many presentations are forgettable. Then contrast it with a better vision like Imagine a talk that moves people to act. Keep oscillating between those opposites. It builds anticipation and emotional buy in.
What about knowing your audience?
Knowing your audience means understanding their needs, values, and emotional triggers. So you can tailor examples, language, and references that resonate. When people feel seen, they're more open to your message.
Great. So, what about body language, voices, pauses, and facial expressions, especially in storytelling? Can they make storytelling more effective and powerful?
Absolutely. A grounded posture, expressive eyes, intentional pauses, and a voice that varies in tone all add emotional texture. They signal sincerity and keep listeners engaged, even more than words alone.
In this current age of shorts and social media reels, how can storytellers tell meaningful stories without losing the audience attention?
Focus on one clear moment, one emotion, and a crisp takeaway. Start with a hook in the first 2 seconds. Speak like a human, not a script, and end with a purpose or a question. Short but resonant.
Great advice. So, what about making a story inspiring enough to motivate people to change their perspective or thinking or to take action?
Inspire by showing change, not just telling it. Make the journey believable. Include setbacks, doubts, and small wins. Close with a clear, doable action the audience can try, even a tiny one. So the inspiration feels practical, not abstract.
Can you elaborate with a small story in this perspective? Very small, for a few minutes.
Sure. A teacher once told her class storytelling is like planting. She shared how a single honest tale about overcoming self doubt made her students try speaking up for the first time. Small, but real. Plant one vivid moment, water it with emotion and truth, sunlight with purpose, and let it grow quietly in the listener's mind.
Great. So, lastly, if you had to teach one storytelling principle to someone who wants to become a powerful communicator, what would it be and why?
Start with empathy. If you feel what your audience cares about, every choice of what to say and when becomes clearer and more authentic. Empathy guides everything else structure, tone, and delivery.
Great. One question that skipped my mind. Can you suggest a few good authors? It is often recommended to start reading before one start writing. So, can you recommend at least five good storytellers, authors that aspiring storytellers can take inspiration from?
Checking. Certainly. Here are five Tolstoy for emotional depth, Charles Dickens for memorable characters, Paulo Coelho for simple yet inspiring lessons, J.K. Rowling for long arc storytelling, and Hemingway for powerful simplicity. For presentations, add Nancy Duarte, Donald Miller, Chip and Dan Heath, Carmine Gallo, and Matthew Dix. Read one that matches your current goal. Then practice adapting one technique at a time.
Great. Thank you, ChatGPT, for today's session.
Glad to help.
Viewers, I would just like to illustrate one fact here that for aspiring storytellers, it is good to read some books for inspiration before taking on your own endeavor. So, some books that I would recommend are Dubliners by James Joyce, The Complete Stories by Flannery O'Connor, Nine Stories by J.D. Salinger, interpreter of melodies by Jhumpa Lahari, and the complete short stories by Anton Chekhov. So these are some of the stories that you could read to get inspiration from and start your storytelling journey. Viewers, that will be all about today's session. Hope you enjoyed this session and will engage in a social and storytelling journey. Until next time, I will be back with another topic of discussion. Until then, signing off. Allah Hafiz.